Oh, Merry November and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Rob Edwards and today I'm coming you from the not frozen north in Finland. I've got my Christmas tontu, my Christmas elf, and I've got my Christmas tree, so it must be the middle of November, and indeed it is, and I am here to talk to you about Christmas movies. In a segment I'm calling on my YouTube channel the Too Early Reviews, because it really is too early for a Christmas movie, but that hasn't stopped me and my wife. We've been watching them basically since the 1st of November because we love a Christmas movie. Most of them are absolutely awful. And that's not fair, actually. Most of them are not brilliant. But, you know, they're sort of workmanlike and they're predictable and you know what you're going to get with them. And that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes that's just a little bit comforting. And that's what these movies are for. That's what these movies are about. Sort of a bit of comfortable robe in the morning, kind of comfortable movie, cozy movie. And I'm going to do possibly 2 or 3 of these episodes in the coming weeks as around to Christmas goes on. And today I thought I would talk to you about one of the ones which I actually think is not too bad, actually, that we've actually genuinely enjoyed. The hat, by the way, because it's not frozen outside, is completely unnecessary, apart from the fact that now I've put it on, if I take it off, my hair will explode. So, if you open up a Christmas movie on Netflix, you are likely to be greeted with one of 2 corporate logos. That is Hybrid, who make a lot of the sort of lower budget kind of Hallmark Channel movies, and the MPCA, the Movie Picture Corporation of America. And their movies tend to be a little bit higher budget, a little bit glossier, a little bit more movie-esque, if that's a word. And I'm going to be talking today, anyway, about one of these MPCA movies that is due to have a sequel come out this month. In fact, it might even be out by the time I get this video up onto YouTube. And that film is The Princess Switch, starring Vanessa Hudgens as both Stacey Denova, a baker from Chicago, and Margaret Delacourt, a duchess from Montenegro, I think the name is. Interesting, we'll get back to the Montenegro-Belgravia thing because it's set in the Kingdom of Belgravia, where the Duchess is due to marry the Prince of Belgravia, and Stacey is due to take part in a Christmas baking extravaganza, which has the most boring name imaginable. It goes on to television. It's supposed to be this big televisual event, certainly enough that they can pay for bakers from across the world to fly to Belgravia and compete in this competition. But it's called something like the Christmas Baking Competition. And I mean, okay, that could work, but when you have shows like MasterChef and the Great British Bake Off and all of these other Sugar Rush and whatever they are, I can't help but feel that a real baking show with this amount of clout behind it would have some better and more exciting name. But that is not really what I'm here to talk to you about. So, in a bit of hijinks, Stacey and Margaret meet. And Margaret, who wants to get a feel for what it's like to be a real commoner these days, decides that she wants to switch with Stacey for a couple of days before the competition so that Margaret can get a sense of what it's like to be a real person in the real world and not be a duchess. Now, there are a few things that I really enjoy about this movie, but let me start by just a few of my weird nitpicks with it, because the weird nitpicks are always the fun bits, aren't they? First of all, this is quite a common trope in Christmas movies from both Hybrid and the MPCA, and that is the number of European countries who all seem to communicate in English. Given that England is trying its best currently to be not part of Europe anymore, there will surely not be any English-speaking countries in Europe. We're not going to get political, but that is a thing, and it does seem that both in this and I forgot the name of it. This the really famous one. I'm being very, very dense here. The Christmas Prince. There we go. That and The Christmas Prince are both set in countries where English is the main language of everybody. Nobody else speaks anything else. But it is somewhere in bizarre Eastern Europe, I think. Sort of, yeah, that's my general sense. And you may be saying to me, well, you know, that's all well and good, but it's not really a criticism of the movie. That's just a conceit so that the American audience can understand what the actors are saying on screen. And I guess that's true. So let's move on to something which is a bit more sort of plot related. In that there are essentially three characters who play what appear to be a significant role in the plot, despite really not doing anything very much. There is an evil baker at the baking competition, and, you know, don't get me wrong, an evil baker is a terrible thing indeed, but there is this sort of snooty, I should be the one to win the competition and I'm going to win it by fair means or foul type woman who sabotages Stacey's mixing thing. Oh, you can tell I'm not a baker. And this seems to result in like 15 seconds of tension during the big finale. Otherwise, that character essentially has no role in this movie. You could excise her from this without any impact on the story at all. There is a character called Frank, I think, who is working for the Prince Edward, who is the one that Margaret is due to marry, but inevitably Stacey falls for during the whole hijinks switching section of the movie. And Frank has suspicions there's something going on and is stalking the princess, sorry, the Duchess, to try and get evidence that something is weird is happening. And he does. He gets photos of Stacey and Margaret together, and he goes to present them to the king and is intercepted. And again, we get like 15 seconds of tension from this in the plot before all that is undercut by the Queen going, oh, well, no, I'm going to intercept that and stop the truth coming out because of reasons. And then there is the mysterious old man. He's an interesting character. I quite like him as a character in that he appears in Chicago and on the streets of Belgravia and at the palace at Belgravia, and he just turns up whenever the plot needs a wise old character to say something which will push one of the characters in one direction or the other. Essentially, this character is there to replace the need for actually having plot. Just, I don't know how to make this character decide that she's going to go to the bakery competition after all. Wise old dude turns up. We can't decide how Edward is going to find her in the gazebo. I mean, I guess that's one of the reasons why he turns up at one point, and he points Edward to Stacey, who is sitting in a gazebo. And, you know, that's a significant plot point, I would have thought, gazebo-wise. But, again, much though I quite like the character, much like I think the actor does quite well with the small role he's given, it's quite fun. Again, if he wasn't there, like the Frank character and like this evil baker, really, that's like 10 minutes of plot, essentially, that could be taken away from this movie and given to something slightly more relevant. So a bit weird. But I can't get away from the fact that actually I kind of like this movie. I kind of like it's got a sense of fun about it. It does all the things you would expect with a switching places kind of movie. The two women fall for their respective friends and or fiancés, as the case may be. It really does look like it's all going to be, oh no, we can't have Stacey marrying the prince because that's not what's supposed to happen. And I have to say that's possibly a real thing, because presumably this arranged marriage between Belgravia and Montenero is there for political reasons, and suddenly that's all being taken apart. But hey, what the heck? We are living in the 21st century. I suppose that probably doesn't matter so much these days. But the thing that I really wanted to talk, the thing that I chose the Princess Switch to talk about, is this kind of low-key thing that they were trying to do with the Princess Switch of cross-advertising their different movies. Because at one point in this movie, Margaret, disguised as Stacy, sits down with Stacy's friend Kevin to watch a Christmas movie on Netflix, and they choose The Christmas Prince as the movie of choice because it is Stacy's favourite movie. That means that, according to the Princess Switch, A Christmas Prince is a fiction within that universe. Except that in another movie I'm going to talk about later on, another Vanessa Hudgens movie, we actually see references to both Belgravia and Aldova, which is, I think, the name of the country in A Christmas Prince, both being real places. And I genuinely believe, in a kind of an Avengers Endgame kind of style way here, what we're building to, possibly in 2021 or 2022, is a big Christmas Princess crossover where we'll meet Princess Stacy and Princess, I've forgotten the name, I really should have researched the Christmas Prince, obviously, given I can't remember his name even. And I genuinely think they're going to team up to defeat, I don't know quite what. I'm sure there'll be some plot relating to someone trying to steal Christmas or destroy Christmas, or commercialism. They're trying to destroy commercialism, I guess. But I think that is actually coming. That is, and I'm here for it. Avengers Endgame was brilliant, but I don't know. The Christmas Princesses movie, when it comes, that could be bigger than Endgame. So, I'm just rambling at this point. So the Christmas... sorry, I'm talking about the wrong movie. I'm a terrible reviewer. The Princess Switch, out on Netflix already, with the sequel coming in the next couple of days. I say it might even be out by the time I get this up on YouTube. Have you seen it? What did you think? What's your favourite Christmas movie? When I come back next time, I'm going to be talking about a couple of hybrid movies which are basically identical to each other with the names changed. So that's something to look forward to for next time. But for now, this is the end of my first too early review, and that was The Princess Switch. Thanks for watching.